The relationships we have with our family members are incredibly important and have a long-term impact on us. Having a disabled child can put additional pressure on family relationships, particularly the spousal or partner relationship. And some parents also worry about the impact on their other children and also relationships with extended family members. However, research in the area of family relationships is still very much in its infancy and by no means conclusive. But what we do know, though, through our research is that positive relationships between family members has positive impacts for individuals in that family unit. And for example, in one study with parents of autistic children, a positive relationship between mothers and fathers helped to reduce their own negative feelings such as depression and also help them to cope with the behavioural and emotional challenges of their child. So in this episode, fathers discuss relationships in their family and tell us some of the things that they've been doing to build and maintain positive family relationships.
I think we always had a really strong relationship, so that really helped. We're both quite sort of analytical and sensible about situations, so that's helped as well. But equally, emotion creeps into everything, and stress and pressure and constant barrage of this is not going well and difficult days and all of that stuff sort of mounts up.
We've had a number of challenges over the last 12 months, mainly connected towards the boys' education and the mainstream school environment, and things not quite happening, and then you have to fight and with local authorities and other things to get what you want, and it can be really stressful. So I think that's where sometimes we just play to the strengths. So because my wife was kind of struggling with the emotional side of things, and it was really kind of affecting her, I decided to take ownership of certain challenges. Say, look, I'll deal with that. You tell me we'll work on it together, but I will do all the contacting and the phone calls and things like that. And that's been, that's proved to be a good formula for us at the moment, that my wife can still help contribute and get across what she wants to get across, but she knows that I'm probably more calm and level-headed when it comes to having those really difficult, challenging conversations, whether it be with schools or local authorities or whoever it might be. So she's kind of more or less delegated that responsibility to me.
A lot of the time you find yourself in a constant fight for things for them. It may well just be a place in a school that you want them at, or sort of a particular, I don't know, depending on there might be a sort of a medical need or anything along those lines. You do find yourself in a constant little cycle of battles. It's always just remembering just to take that step back and remember that, well, for me anyway, that you think, obviously you take that time to remember it's your wife, not just your battle partner.
I also think it's important to spend time together as a couple, and I know that's really hard for some people, but just the little things. Trying to get babysitters has been particularly challenging, because even family have not quite understood Peter's needs.
Easiest way of saying it is we do put a lot of the children's pressures on ourselves, but in the same sense, the little things, such as one of the elder children looking after the boys for a short period of time, this, that and the other, it's brilliant, and it's something that we found difficult to start with, to think that we needed other people just to give us that little hour, or even a little half an hour break or something along those lines, just to chill out. And we just, it's something that we, as a couple, we were very sort of against, but then it would, it's just one of those things that I'd always advise anyone now just to take the opportunity if it's given to you.
But they are, your needs are secondary. You accept that, but you'd still have needs. And I think that date night, even if it was once a month, that would be amazing. So if you've got grandparents or someone or a babysitter or someone that you trust, that you could able to spend time with your partner, just one-on-one out of the house, out of the four walls that you're probably spend most of your time in, even if it was just going for a walk or going for one drink down at the pub or something, just not in your house. I think it's key to help with mental health, just to get connected again.
So if you can step away from it and recognise that, oh, actually, yeah, we used to quite like each other. That's quite a good thing to remember and try and get back to. I think you have to find the time to spend time with each other, however that is, and it isn't always easy, because if you haven't got the family that can help, we've been really lucky with family helping us out with things and being able to have a day here and there to do stuff. But even just going to a pub and having a meal, and it's like, this is amazing.
Our first child, I think he kind of gets left behind a little bit, and kind of gets left out because your focus is mainly on the youngest, and I don't know whether he'll see it that way, but it does feel that sometimes you just want to have more time for him, because he's quite happy in his own bubble, in terms of play his computer game till, God, he'd stay on it all day long. If he can do his own activities, he loves reading, he loves things he can do independently on his own, which is great. But as a parent, you feel you're neglecting him because you're not doing things with him. So you're not playing computer games with him, you're not sharing as much with him or getting as much into his interests.
My daughter, I've tried to make an effort to make sure that she feels as important as Peter. So we have dedicated daddy-daughter time, as we call it. We'll do something that she wants to do, quality time, just to make sure everyone knows that they are equally important.
Relationships around the family are brilliant. We've got a really good, close family, and we get lots of help and lots of support. So that is a big help. We moved closer to the family as well. That was a big help.
So I don't know if it's a generational thing, but it was tough to explain that our child has got autism, because I think a lot of grandparents and a lot of parents want to go, no, he's okay or she's okay, they'll get better, it's fine, it's just a thing, it's just a phase, or depending on the age of them. And it takes a lot just to kind of drill home what we expect from them and what we would like them to do and how we would like them to act and how they need to, because that's the routine we've got at home. So that's the routine you're going to have when you have our children.
So I think it took a while for grandparents to fully understand what autism meant. I think there was probably a little bit of denial at the start of that process, because both of my boys are high functioning, so they don't have difficulties, communicating or talking. If anything, the opposite, communicate too much. But yeah, they've always been very articulate and very communicative. So from the outsider looking in, it's easy for someone to say, well, they look normal. And I think there was a little bit of that with my parents at first. I think they just couldn't quite see, why they would be autistic, and I think they had this fixed view of what autism was. But now they're, it's been a process of just educating them and just telling them, what works for the boys, what doesn't work for the boys. But they will go for sleepovers. They're totally comfortable with my parents, and so that they've got a really close bond with them. But yeah, it took a while to get to that point where we had to explain certain behaviours, and we had to explain certain ways of doing things that were going to be productive. And we don't always get it right. I mean, as parents, I'll probably make mistakes every week, about how to approach something. So we're all sort of learning together, really, but it's trying to pass on, you know, the benefit of that to parents and stuff, so that they can understand, you know, what's going to work when they're in their care.